Hey boys and girls, it's Miss Sweeney. We're going to go ahead today and get started with our lesson for topic 4, lesson 2, building arrays. Now, before we begin, I need you to make sure that you have your math notebook and your pencil. Get your math notebook and your pencil. You can pause the video at this time to go get your math notebook and pencil. If you have your materials, then you can go ahead and come back and press play. Open up your math notebook to your next clean page and put today's date at the top, 9-29-20. After you have completed writing your date, you can resume the video and we will get started with our warm-up. Okay, what you're going to be doing are these 4 problems on your math notebook. You can pause the video at this time and complete these 4 problems. When you're done, I want you to come back to the video, press play, and then we are going to check it together. So let's get started on number 1. Which number sentence is shown by the picture? So yesterday we talked about arrays, and so we're going to keep building upon that. So let's look here. In this array, I see 4, 4, 4, 4. So that means I'm going to add up each one of these parts to get the whole. So 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals, and then that's where we need to see our whole. I know in choice A, I see we're adding up 2, but there's 4 in each of these. Choice B, I do see that we're adding 4, but we're only adding up 4 2 times. But here I have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 4. So I know it's not B. Choice C, I have 1, 2, 3 4s being added, but again, my group has 4 groups of 4. D shows 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 4 being added, which matches here. So that means that my choice is D. 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4 equals 16. All right, now let's move to number 2. Think addition to help you subtract. Now, we talked about a little bit of this last week. So if I'm looking at the problem 15 minus 7 equals blank, in my head, I can be thinking, okay, 7 plus what equals 8? Because then that's going to be the answer. I know that 7 plus 8 equals 15, so I know 15 minus 7 equals 8. Now let's move to number 3, adding up 3 numbers. 8 plus 3 plus 2. Now, I always said first thing you want to look for is a doubles fact, a near doubles fact, or a number addition that will give you 10. So right off the bat, I know 8 plus 2 equals 10. So I've got 10 already from 8 and 2. That means I've got to now add 3 to 10 to finish the problem. So 10 plus 3 I know is 13. So that means my answer is D, 13. All right, number 4, write an addition sentence for the model, then write a subtraction sentence for the model. So we have a part, whole, map. In the first part, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So in my first part, I'm going to put 6. Plus my second part also has 6. So I'm going to write 6 equals the whole. And here it already tells me my whole is 12. Now I need a subtraction sentence. We know with subtraction we start with the whole. Well, the whole is 12, so 12 is first. Minus one part, 6, equals the other part, 6. And we know this is a doubles fact because we're adding the same number. And when we're doing a fact family, we should have the same exact numbers when we're adding and subtracting. Okay, so that is the completion of our warm-up. So now we're ready to actually get into our lesson. Today we're going to be discussing building arrays. So let's review what is an array. An array is a way of showing a set of equal groups in rows and columns. You can partition or divide a rectangle into an array. So Here, this array shows 4 columns. Columns are vertical. That means they're going up and down. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4 columns. We have 3 rows. Rows are going across. So 1, 2, 3. Now, the way we could write this equation would be a repeated addition sentence. So that means we're going to be adding the same number over and over again. Well, there's 2 ways we can do it. First, we can say, well, there's 4 in the first row, 4, plus 4 in the second row here, plus 4 in the last row here. That equals 12. So we can put 3 rows of 4 equals 12. Or we can look at it going up and down. We can say 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 12. So either way, we could show the array by using the rows and columns with a repeated addition sentence. So now we're going to go ahead and look at the video that goes with today's lesson.
You can model repeated addition with an array. Look at the array. Arrays have equal rows. Does the array have equal amounts in each row? Yes. How do you know? Each row has 3 strawberries. Arrays have equal amounts in each row. Once you know how many rows there are and how many in each row, you can write the addition sentence. What addition sentence is shown by this array? The addition sentence is 3 plus 3 equals 6. There are 6.
Okay, so now that our video is done, we are going to go back into our lesson. So this is when you're going to need to have your math notebook and pencil and you're going to be ready to write. Miss Sweeney is going to show you an array. And we're going to talk about how many rows and how many columns are in the array. And then we're going to work on writing the repeated addition sentence. So looking here, I see rows, blank rows. So that means I want to count how many rows. Remember, rows go across. There's 1, 2, 3 rows. So I'm going to write 3. How many columns? Remember, columns go up and down. There's 1, 2, 3 columns. So I have 3 rows and 3 columns. That means I need to write an addition sentence that shows 3 plus 3 plus 3. So I'm going to go ahead and begin. 3 plus 3 plus 3. Okay, first row of 3 plus the second row of 3 plus the final row of 3 equals a total of 9. That's the repeated addition that matches this picture. Now, I want you to try this one on your own. I want you to tell me how many rows and how many columns, and then I want you to write the repeated addition sentence. You can pause the video and then press play when you're ready to check. All right, so let's go ahead and begin. How many rows do we have? So remember, rows go across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 rows. How many columns? 1, 2, 3. 3 columns. So now I'm going to get ready to write the repeated addition sentence. So I know I'm going to need to add 3 5 times. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals, and you can go back and count them all if you need to, 15. So we have the number 3 add it up 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Now I want you to try this one on your own. Remember to pause the video, and when you're finished, come back and check. How many rows? Well, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rows. How many columns? 1, 2. So what does that mean? That means I need to add up the number 2 5 times. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have the number 2 added up 5 times. That equals 10. All right, now I want you to try this one on your own. Come back to the video and press play when you're finished. All right, how many rows does this have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows. How many columns? 1. So I'm going to add the number 1 6 times. 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1. Let's see. 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Alrighty. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that means 6 is our answer because we added the number 1 up 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. Now let's look at this next one. Here's a picture. I want you to tell me, is this an array? Write it down on your math notebook. You should have come up with the answer no. And the reason why is because there are not equal rows. There's 3 in this row, 3 in this row, but there's only 2 here. So this is not an array. We could not use repeated addition for this problem. Okay, so now we're ready to try the next problem. This says Ross put his fruit in an array. His array had 2 rows and 2 columns. How many pieces of fruit are there? What I want you to do is I want you to draw this out on your notebook and then answer the question and come back here to check after you're done. Your array should look like this. 2 rows, 1, 2, and 2 columns, 1, 2. Then your repeated addition sentence should be 2 plus 2 equals 4. So Ross has 4 pieces of fruit.